It's good to be back, boys. Welcome to teamfortress.tv, and welcome to ETF2L Season 29, our Premiership coverage. Week 1, baby. It's your host, TurboTabs. It's your play-by-play guy with my strict instructions now. No analysis will be paired. No play-by-play will be now strict play-by-play and analysis from here. And speaking of analysis, I brought on the knowledgeable Beta with me to guide me through some of these Prem teams and this Prem action. And also we've got Gemm on the camera, but he can speak words into us quietly as well. Anyway, How you doing, Beta?
I'm doing good. You're just doing this whole thing to impose your tyranny upon us, aren't you? It's not to make it a better casting experience and everything for the viewers. It's just actually to feed your own incredible ego. We know.
I like to think I learned from my mistakes, Beta, and one of my greatest critique from the last season was that we were just having too much just of one group on these casts, so no more. I'm going to stick to my word. I'm going to go with this thing. Anyway, enough about that. It's about our Week 1 game, Nunya versus the Bus Crew. This is our fourth and final game of the Week 1 series of Season 29, so what do you expect to see coming into this beta? Any immediate things you want to bring forth to the stream about these two teams?
Yeah, so the main thing I'm wondering about is just how good Nunya are as a team, because they could potentially be the third best team in the season, Cent and Seven being the best ones, and then it could be Nunya that are in there. Like there's a German team, like Wer das Lied ist Doof, I think they're called, and then and then we have Nunya, and then we have like a couple of teams. And I think Nunya is probably my front runner to perhaps be the third best team. And it all stems from their incredible scouts. And then what I'm assuming it's going to be a good demo and medic pair. And then the big question mark in the soldiers in Madu. And it's not Chris, it's not Josh, it's another boring name. It's, what was his name again? Charlie. That's
Charlie.
Yeah, too many boringly named soldiers this season. But yeah, absolutely.
It's always the soldiers, isn't it? What is it about soldiers and just coming up with these original names, Beta? They just can't seem to just stick with something. Anyway,
at least Lucas. Yeah, at least Lucas switched to demo, so we can't completely pin it on the soldiers. And then Poison, of course, as soon as he switches to soldier, he just starts calling himself Frederick. But yeah. Like this could be potentially one of the best games of the season so far. The games have been not too close. Rekusen did steal a point off of the Germans, but that doesn't surprise me too much. I personally value or rate Rekusen pretty highly compared to most people. But this one, I'm pretty much in the dark. The easy prediction is that Puskari and Nuthouse will just go crazy and carry the team. But you never know. You can never tell. And their opponents here today, the Bus Crew, they've actually been doing pretty well in the preseason qualification matches. So yeah, it's anyone's guess, and you never know. This is the first game of the season, so
yeah,
this is where we find things out.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I can't really think of a time, Beta, where the first week of a season has been so exciting, because everyone has just been scratching their heads looking at all these teams, because everything just feels so fresh. You've got so many newcomers to Prem this season. You've got so many new teams, and people don't even know who's going to really be the third place matchup. I mean, obviously people know who's going to be first, with Seven just being around for so long, and Ascent have come back with quite a very strong new team as well, so everyone's kind of slotting them second. But this third place, like you talked about, we just don't know who's really up there right now, and it seems we will find out very soon, Beta, as we have gone live. And this is our first map, CP Sunshine. It will be our Week 1 coverage of the Nunya versus the Bus Crew. If you're just joining us, I'm TurboTabs, Beta with me on the microphone, and the first thing I see on mid Beta is Lucas and Jon just not really landing these first initial stickies on each other. So no one's really opened up the play for any of these roamers to wreak havoc on this mid. They're both just playing it slow right now, but that's typical Sunshine at this point. All the teams like to play this map slow, it seems, so they're just going to take the time, and it seems Nunya will be the first one out of the gate, and Puskari will get the first blood, and from there the Dominers are starting to fall. They try to counteract this over on the Bus Crew by maybe getting a force or a kill onto Connor, but Connor will survive, almost being that perfect bait for his Nunya team, so they're going to walk away with this mid Beta.
Yeah, it's a really strong mid coming out here. for Nunya. And I really like how poised they were. They had a soldier behind basically the entire time, but Top was just never able to actually find an opening to get in there. And then the combined soldier aggression, along with the rest of the team just walking in, just won the day for them. So really good. That's going to result in a 100% Uber advantage, and looks like they're going to get ready to go in on top right. Here we go.
Unless Alba has something to say about it. He has come back as the spy, but I think he's going to be a little late to the party. They've already popped Uber on Nunya, and he has come back, but all of his teammates are dead. He can only really start pistoling people down. His team is actually surprisingly holding the line, despite Alba's lack of presence there in that last little defense. So very well played for the bus crew to hold on. I think the key there was just them holding on to that demo man. If I had to take a quick stab at it myself, Peter.
Yeah, Alba, he didn't have a non-presence. There's actually a soldier jumping in here. He's going to go behind, run into Diox and get taken down, I'm sure. There we go. But there was actually a spy. The spy did get a pick pretty early on, and a soldier jumped in really deep and got reflect killed immediately. So they were just 2 down right after the Uber got popped. And after that, it was just pretty much a dead push. So really unfortunate for them that they just got basically outplayed by 2 specialist classes there. And that's going to result in this mid cap here. And it doesn't look like they want to take this tiny Uber advantage into second, which is quite understandable since second is pretty difficult to actually push in on. But now the question is just how they're going to approach this, because you can bomb in a soldier, you can bomb in 2 soldiers, you can go sniper, you can run people back to spawn. And this one flank area, like flowers as it's called, it's has a lot of places where it actually breaks your vision, so it's very easy to catch people going too far in.
So if you had to pick a favourite out of all these little tactics that you said, Peter, what's like the go-to method to getting this pick, or maybe just evening out this stalemate here? What's the best way to break a stalemate at this point of the game?
I think the classic one here is to send in a soldier through choke, who will then like loop around into flowers, and then you jump in a second soldier through choke again, and then you hope that they have kind of been drawn a little bit out of position, and then that the scouts have used some shots so they can't really deny you as well. It's sort of like what you see on Process a lot, where people go back into sewers, but just slightly differently. The second soldier is more likely to die on this map. It's not as good as on Process, and looks like we saw Poison there trying to make a move, but he just gets taken down.
Yeah, actually, if you've taken note on the lighthouse, they've prepared some stickies just ready for some sort of soldier bomb. But now that they're going a bit more aggressive, now that they've got that pick beater, so they're looking around this flank area from the left-hand side, but they can't find the place to get in. The Demoman has denied of that. Yon doing his job well there, and he's going to continue this stalemate just in time for his buddy Poison to come back from that respawn queue.
Yeah, and we just saw them try to go into flowers here, see if they could catch anyone off guard. It actually almost worked against them. But, I really like when they rotate the mech and just really force their way through a flank like this. The big problem with Sunshine when you do these kind of rotations, when you're holding second, is that it's very easy for the team holding mid to actually see it, because there's this massive fence, but it's see-through, so you can kind of tell. But here comes the soldier. I think it's Charlie's, and those stickies work perfectly, but there's a second soldier, but he gets taken down as well. So there was a double soldier bomb, and surely we're going to see a counter push come out in some form here.
Yeah, this has got to be an easy pickings for them, but they want to hold close here. They're actually sticking with the Demoman. They're feeling confident about taking this Uber in, but they've already lost Alba during that exchange beat. This is dreadful. Uber coming out from Babs now. The decision on that as a team seems a bit questionable in my eyes, but they're going to try and pick up the pieces here, and as Deox comes back from the respawn queue, he dies instantly again, and it looks like they will have to give up mid because of that mistake there.
Yeah, that was way too aggressively to just hold it. I realized that they had even Ubers, and I assumed they were just trying to hold it and bait for respawners, but they were just way too aggressive, and they got outplayed a little bit and losing a scout in the process. The medic can only flash so many, and it looks like they're pretty much going to be giving up second here as well. There's just no way they can actually contest it with the amount of players they have. They do have DX on spy, and DX of course is a spy main. Oh wait, he's just in spawn checking. But DX is a spy main originally from Highlander, right? Like, I think.
Something along those lines. I think he's played a bit of spotter sniper here and there as well, but all these scouts are usually quite talented off classes when it comes to the game of TF2. And speaking of class, of classing. Alba gets a nice little shot onto the roaming soldier of Nunya. So hopefully he can use this pick to kind of play off another pick here, get a more advantageous position at this point. He's looking around the shutter door area, but the demo man from Nunya, Lucas, is doing a good job of denying him that shot. So he will be sent back all the way to the spawn area to actually go back to the drawing board and maybe come up with a different plan.
Yeah, it all of a sudden strikes me that we haven't mentioned this, but the main medic from the bus crew is actually missing today. Right? Because we have Babs in here as a merc. So Charlie has gone down. He tried to make it in there alive. And Matto is even in some trouble here. But yeah, we have a single merc coming out here. I can't remember who the original medic is.
Martin.
Oh, right. Yeah. Like the up-and-coming medic that people have praised a lot.
Oh,
so
yes.
He's missing this first week. So that's a little bit unfortunate. But Babs is a land, or is an ETF2L champion from last season. So, you know, surely they'll be fine. Just fine.
Well, we've got ourselves another cold stalemate here, and it's still 0-0 at this point, Beta. Just to remind you, so both of these teams are feeling a bit, I guess, scared at this point to really risk things. I mean, one little mistake and that could be the round, and one of these teams could just sink their heels in and just grind out the rest of the time, but nobody dares make that first foot forward.
It seems like it's just going to be a sniper duel for the moment. We have Diox against Puskari. Puskari is one of these scouts that are just really exciting because he just has like the craziest DM aim. As Diox will actually be the first one to hit this, but just whenever you're facing up against Puskari, you're going to be feeling a little bit scared, because if you don't contain him, he will just not miss. And he does get some pretty decent looks at the medic here, but so far he has not quite been able to get anything too crucial.
Yeah, with Diox going down though, he's got all the room in the world to actually play on the sniper, but he's not a god beater. He can't shoot through walls, sadly. He's going to have to just hope that he can find an angle where they're not expecting him to pop out from, but they're doing a good job of just keeping all the doorways covered. Yon, again, keeping that sniper out of action for Nunya.
See, Puskari is slowly edging his way in, but so far he has not quite been able to get this angle. Sunshine is a pretty difficult map to get a proper angle. You can't really buy space with the rest of your team like you can on a map like Process or Gollywash, where you just sort of aggressively take space. It's just really a matter of, like, the best place is to your own attacking side here. So Soldier actually jumps in very aggressively. He doesn't go for the medic, but somehow he just doesn't die either. He's still in. He's jumping around, baiting this.
Demo man down for Nunya, so this could potentially be a push for the bus crew now. But they did lose 2 players during that, so they're a little worried about making this push out. So they will still try it though.
Luckily for them, they still have their sniper, and the sniper is actually really crucial here, because that allows them to defend the point without really overextending. And there we go. You see Alba peeking out there, as he should, just to see if he can get onto the point, but unfortunately for him, he will find the end of a bullet sent there by Puskari, and we're going to be pretty much set back here. But that was a very interesting series of events. It was like very aggressively that we saw Nunya take the right side. As Tops goes in a little bit too far and gets caught out.
Just gets flicked up in the air by the soldier, and Puskari was the one to finish off that kill. Oh, the soldier holding very close. He will get picked off. Poison is died alongside his soldier buddy, and now this opens up things for Nunya, and they started to take things aggressive. Sadly, they will lose Matu, but they're still going to commit this Uber in, but they've got their own Uber on the side of the bus crew here, and they're going to retaliate. They're trying to chase out some of these kills. They will find the nut house kill, and they have made their way to the shutter door area, but they don't dare venture outside, Beta. It's just way too scary.
Especially now that the sniper just lost the duel here. Again, I really like that they are actually sticking their heads out there and pushing whenever they have any kind of small advantage, and then so far, every time they try to do so, Puskari has just neutralized everything. Kind of ended it, but here we go. This is the soldier in again, just going to put some pressure on. Oh my, a little bit of pressure, I say. Look at that time.
Yeah, a lot of pressure now. Look at everybody over on the bus crew now, just scrambling for the point. They've actually got 3 people on there just to make sure that nobody just caps it underneath their feet, but they still do it anyway. 3 people watching the point wasn't enough, Beta. Oh, dearie me.
Race car spelled backwards is race car. Today I learned.
Well,
But man, just that was that initial soldier jumping in, getting so much time on the point that at some point it just meant Lucas just jumped in there and he could just blow people away with the stickies, and that's going to be 1-0 here for Nunya, coming off of some pretty nice pressure onto the point.
yeah, we've still got a whole lot of game left in it though. Maybe they can still make this comeback over on the bus crew now, as they're doing a very nice mid, I think, so far. Much better than the last mid, although the DM is a bit showing for Nunya now. They're just grabbing a bit more kills and they're starting to blob up because of it as well, knowing that they've got the numbers on their side, and they're taking actually a couple of these back alley fights and they're still losing them over on the bus crew as well. So every which way they try, Beta, they're still losing this mid.
Yeah, that was just a number of individual 1v1s, especially by the Nunya scouts, that really won this, and that was one of the factors that we really spotlighted before the start of the game, and that was what we really saw come into its own light right here, come into effect. We do have a soldier pretty far forward, but there's no crits or anything, right? This would be a pretty obvious crit situation, but neither medic has gone for it. So I think we're just back to kind of people trying to bait each other into overextending here.
I've got to ask you, Peter, what is the counter to some of these DM donkey scouts then? What is the play that you have to make as a team to kind of counteract this these strong scouts from the Nunya squad?
Basically, teamwork is the answer. Like, if
teamwork?
Yeah.
Team Fortress 2?
I can't believe it, but yeah, basically, if you can just goad them into taking a bunch of 1v1s, which then turns out to actually be like 2v1s or 3v1s or something, where if you just kind of technically expand in, but that's actually gets jumped! Oh my god.
What a sync play coming out from the soldier and Lucas there. Pinpoint precision stickies from the man. Mwah, that is beautiful, TF2. So off the back of that now, they've got a 100% uber advantage, heal advantage, all the advantages Beta. They just need to not drop Connor. That is the rule number one at this point here. Be very, very careful. And because it's Sunshine, it's going to be very easy to push out the enemy team. There's a great wall basically giving you a little advantage for you to kind of push them out from. So they're going to get the second point very easy, and they're actually going to have enough time and enough uber charge as well, ready for this last point push. But
yeah, a small hiccup here was that both of the Nunya scouts overextended and died. So that's going to slow down this entire push. Taking down DX here is nice. They do trade though, so again, like the big issue here, they should have just been able to push into last, but both of their scouts just happened to die at the end of that push, so that's going to slow things up. But here we go, they have actually Ubered in.
Yep, and they're going to go with the Pyro. Maybe the Pyro can push him off the point, but can't really seem to get onto the point in the first place. Yon will blow his stickies, and nobody's really capping the point, despite him using his stickies as well. There we go, Deox actually respawns from the respawn queue just in time to get that kill onto Lucas, who was just about to cap that out. Maybe if Connor just spent a bit more time capping with his Demoman buddy, but he's just that medic mentality. You don't ever want to really cap that point as a medic. You just always been drilled into your head that, no, I want to avoid the point, I hate the point, but if he went on the point, he actually would have won them there.
Yeah, it's amazing he actually escaped though, as this Uber has come out now onto the point.
Okay, so they're trying to see if they can fish them out of this flank area, but they will make the ring around the roses for now and start capping off that midpoint. But they've got a back cap in the midst, and they will actually pull it from underneath their feet there. Very nice play from Nunya, showing that not only can they just brutally out-DM them, but they can outsmart them over on the bus crew Beta.
Yeah, both Charlie and Pascal made it behind lines, and they went into different directions, so that can really tell you that the coverage there was not quite as good as it should have been for the bus crew. So that's going to be, once again, basically the cap time on the point winning it in the end there, but yeah. Third mid.
All eyes on Pascari. He's been tearing it up this game, and he really has been a DM force for these mids as well. I'm really interested to see what he can kind of contribute to this another mid. And they're just slowly taking the point inch by inch and pushing them out this time. Not only are they winning these DM fights from before, but they know that if they just try and play this teamwork play, they show restraint.
Dude, Charlie just went nuts. He just hit an air shot and then completely shot down another soldier that bombed in. Really great job by him at the end of that. That was That's a really strong push. Once again, yeah, these mids are just looking super safe for Nunya. They are not in any danger at any point. So they are just already getting ready. They are kind of posturing like they want to Uber in, which is a bit strange since it's even Ubers, but they have gone in.
Oh, and they've lost Matthew off the back of it, but they will trade soldiers, but they're just losing a lot more players over on Bus Crew. I'm not really sure how they're doing this, but they might even lose Tobbs as well. He's been launched into the sky and he will be peppered off by a scout, and it's just the scout and Demoman left. But Alba's making a good go of it. Not only is he blocking the point, he's finding the DM, and he'll buy enough time for Yon to actually find the frags, and there we go. There's the safety blanket of his team respawning back behind them, making sure that no one can really solidify that last push for Nunya. So they could make this push out here, but is this another potential back cap in the wings here, Beta? I see Matthew is hiding underneath. Oh, he goes down to a sticky trap.
Yeah, Nunya, I think they need to rethink their whole last cap. They are going in. It seems to me like they dive onto the point too early, so they just end up on like the low ground, and then they can kind of get dived on by everyone else. So they need to really rethink their positioning a little bit on these last pushes, as they are being pushed out of middle here. This is going to be a single soldier trying to get the force out, I think.
Yeah, and Charlie will be... Oh, well, actually, there's a nice force coming out from Matthew. While they were busy looking at Charlie, they actually get the force from Matthew, who came swinging in from that flowers area. But they're trying to use the best of what they've got with that Uber and seeing if they can just get out the second for free, and they will get it. I don't think they can really contest over on the side of Nunya. They are 2 players down, and again, we've been saying it time and time again, that second point of Sunshine is cruel to defend as, so they're just going to back off for now and just build that Uber advantage that they have.
They have a 50% Uber advantage, which is something that you can push on. However, they are ahead 2-0, and pushing out on second is difficult, and even after it's been changed, and even then. But no, they will do it, so no fear by them.
Is Alba maybe found his way inside though? Somebody's covering that shutter door, and he actually weasels his way back out, but back into the offensive arms of Nunya, so they'll clean him up instead. But the initiation is coming in from the Bus Crew now. Maybe they can hold on to this second. The fact that they've baited themselves onto the point, making themselves an easy target for these soldiers. Tobbs and Frederick get a nice bit of damage there, and they could probably play off the last point as well with that nice little advantage that they've earned from all the kills there. They need to just get this Uber spread a bit better. Babs can't seem to find anybody, Beta. She was desperately trying to get people invincible there, but they were just too far from her medigun.
Yeah, that was an absolutely awful Uber coming in here. I will say they kind of stacked the odds against themselves as Match will jump in here. There is actually a repush coming out, but just the way that they went in while still having 2 players down, that's usually a bad move, but oh my god, Uber has been forced now.
Jan manages to get a pick off onto the opposing Demoman, and now they're thinking twice about making that second push in, especially knowing that they could get back capped as well during all this. So they will back off and decide to just play it safe. Again, like you said, the 2 rounds up, why risk it?
Yeah, they are. You see Tops just sweeping in here in lobby. He's going to just secure everything. We do see, once again, the advantage coming out here for Babs. She could just get ready to do a dodge push. And I think that's what they're going to do. They almost catch a sword, but oh my god, they just see all the pipes right there coming out.
Yeah, that was a pipe taxi really to the to the respawn. So he's going to be back up healthy. Oh, the Uber's popped in, but they've lost Yon to the sticky trap on the point. Oh, some poor Ubering from Babs there, not really keeping everybody invincible at the same time during that crucial point, and the opposing Uber from Connor will pop out now, but they can't seem to focus on the targets. There's nobody alive. Oh, nice air shot coming out from Poison there. That is going to solidify this last point and this last capture for the Bus Crew that are back in the game, Beta, potentially.
Poison going absolutely huge on that last Poison. I think he hit 2 air shots into a 4K, into winning it, and he also like dodged the Uber for a long time. So really good play there by Poison, aka Frederick. Great job by him. But that almost went really wrong due to Babs just not being able to click on people fast enough during that Uber.
Who knew that losing Yon was their greatest tactic on these last pushes for the Bus Crew? And let's see if they can continue that momentum into this 4th mid. So far it's been going very Nunya-sided, but look at this wind in their sails, Beta. They get the DM, the teamwork that you were talking about. It's all here, Beta. They found it.
Yeah, and oh my god, Nuthouse actually almost did manage to make some magic happen. But yeah, that was absolutely crushing coming out here from the bus crew. That's they're coming back, dude. They want this. We do have a single demo just trying to hold it, but he's going to be pushed back, no issue whatsoever. I can't see any sneaky sticky traps anywhere. So even Ubers, and that was just such a nice mid coming out from the bus crew. Like they just kept counter jumping soldiers into the skybox. They were really relentless. They just never stayed on the ground.
I've got to ask you, Peter, does mentality play a lot into these middles? Does it feel like when you win that first round of the game, do you just feel better on these mids? Do you just feel more comfortable, more confident? Is that all you need sometimes on these mids, or is it just the tactics there that played off for them?
It feels really good when you win a middle, because oftentimes it's something that you have sort of partially been able to pre-plan, so it's a bit like a set play. Like, you know roughly what they're going to do, you know roughly what you're going to do, so you can outsmart each other. And then if you keep losing middles, it's very easy to sort of feel like you're being stuck in a rut and you just can't do anything and you lose hope. So it's really important that you're able to mix it up and actually get out of that whole situation. So yeah, you can definitely say that the mindset can have something to have said here.
Speaking of mines, Alba's trying to find some mines. Maybe he can plunge a bullet into them, but can't seem to... Oh, Lucas finds the sniper. Not today, Alba. He will be found and you will be killed.
Oh, he's trapped though.
Oh, he is. But there's just the rollers there. He can just easily weasel his way out, and there we go. He gets a free sniper kill and lives to tell the tale. So they're making the push out here over on Nunya, seeing if they can punish them, and they will actually get the Tom's kill as well. Another hemorrhaging kill for the bus crew, and they've got the position over on Nunya, but have they got the DM to follow it up?
That's the banner coming out here from one of the soldiers, I think.
Nunya.
Oh,
Matu had it, but he died instantaneously to the Alba sniper, so that banner will not bail them out today. And Charlie, he's doing a good job on these flanks though, getting these kills, and Uber has been exchanging out from both of these teams, and just because of the positional play from Nunya, they will get that second point, but I'm a little worried that they might just have it... Oh wait, no, with Tob's going down to that Beskari flank, that means they will hold on to that second point now, and they want to set up a sticky trap on mid, but Dion's been caught out because of it now, and I don't think really they have a solid defense setup for this mid point, so they're just going to lose it on position alone, Beta.
Everyone's just out through the choke, and once you've sort of gathered yourself near the choke, you're usually just in a situation where there's no way you can ever fight it. Like, you really have to commit hard once you get stuck even somewhere near the choke if you want to actually make it work. Otherwise, you just have to get out of there, and the more you move out, the more irreversible it just becomes. And that's going to be it. But here comes the soldier bomb in. This is what we talked about a little bit. He's still not dead. There you go. Finally, Matu goes down. But that was just a single soldier bomb. No support really from his team. Not like last time where Lucas also lobbed in some of the best long stickies you've ever seen.
Yeah, there was some nice positional play coming out from all of the bus crew, really, kind of being that wave of just anti-air gun from the scouts and the soldiers to deny that soldier, and Babs as well, just making herself a difficult target for Matu to actually follow up on. So it will be an even game so far, 5 minutes left, but they don't want the game to be like this over on the bus crew right now.
Oh no, the medic gets caught! Oh my god. Dude, Babs was just inside the house with an enemy soldier. That's a scary situation. Somehow he just slithers out of it. Just slippery little lady.
Just as I complimented her on her positioning as well, Peter. The caster's curse is strong.
It now works within like milliseconds. It's impressive. So it looks like Poison's actually gearing up for suicide.
What can you do at this point of the game, Beta, where you want the game to go a bit quicker than this? You don't want it to stalemate out. You need to get some rounds on the board if you're the bus crew here. What's a good way of just speeding up the game?
Like, you could play a sniper very aggressively and choke. Funnily enough, I know having a sniper and speeding up the game seems like mutually exclusive things. At the same time, you can also send in some players really aggressively where you kind of commit a little bit with your team. We've seen them do this before. Nice shot, Poison. He's just on fire. Can't wait to see what his airshot stats are going to look like. I have a feeling they're going to be good, but as soon as you get a pick like this, now you can just kind of walk in, and there's just being seeded so much positioning here, and this is how you speed up the game.
Yep, they're trying to really get that pick onto Charlie on the right-hand side. They've actually rotated everyone on Nunya, though, to get the defense for that scout, and they will be forced out, actually, by Poison, and he gets out from the bell tower as well, and they're going to counter with a nice, healthy milked Uber, but Yon's just not that threatening at this point. He's got nothing reloaded. He's just a demo man in an Ubered world, and he's going to die because of it. They've got all the nice positioning beta, they've got the nice timing, they just haven't got the firepower for whatever reason.
There was just a single soldier just standing up in the tower for Nunya, and he just never got dealt with it, and he just rained down death. So you just need to deal with that immediately, as this is looking... There comes the Pyro optimally aiming by swinging his mouse around. That's so funny. Probably did like 500 damage right there.
I mean, it looked like a desperation Pyro, but it did a decent amount of work. I was looking at the health, I was like, Jesus, all of this health is going down quickly, to say how little time he spent on that point. Anyway.
Parkinson's Pyro, dude. It's so good, but yeah, 3-1. So Nunya taking the initiative back once again after seemingly stumbling a little bit here. Really strong for them, as both demos are just spamming each other out.
Oh, that's a strong start for the bus crew here with, a very, very strong start. It's all up to Matu here if he can get to this pick. Oh, actually gets a pick onto Deox instead. I thought he would have got the Babs kill, and they're trying to find the Babs kill. They have a rough idea where she might be, and they do jump some players there, but Babs is just too slippery, it seems. She's in the rough vicinity, but not quite in the spot that they were hoping for her to be, so she will survive, and because of her survival, she'll keep everybody else surviving on her bus crew team. Oh, another attempt, but again, still slippery.
Yeah, just they spend so much energy trying to kill that medic, and when you go for the medic and you don't get the medic, you really struggle as a team, because it's basically wasted damage. Because, you know, if you go for the, like, a medic is not dealing damage at all. I know the medic is healing, but it's just not quite the same thing. And just aiming for the medic and not killing the medic is just the safest way to lose mid.
Uber in. They have to deal with the sentry gun, and the sentry gun has been dealt with by Yon now. They need to start opposing some damage, some defense, maybe some point play, and they will establish that now, and that's a nice, healthy, quick round from the bus crew. That's exactly what they need to get back into this game, and they've only got 1 minute and 52 seconds to follow up with another round if they want to make this a tie beater.
Yeah, and so far their middles have been looking really strong. So this is absolutely doable. This was a pretty strong and quick round, and speeding up the game now is the name of the game. So how will they do it? Will Nunya just start playing way too passively, or will they just play normally and try to just squeeze out the win here?
I'm looking to Tobbs. He was the one that opened up the mid last time, and he might open it up again, but Matu is a lot more of a slippery bugger this time. He will go aggressive, Tobbs, whilst Matu's going for the long flank around, but will be dealt with, and the Nunya blob is a bit stronger this time, but they're actually deciding to push forward with their own, and the DM from Nunya that we talked about is showing and rearing its face back in this mid beater, and two scouts versus Deox. Scotland, please. Oh no, they actually killed Babs instead. It was a medic versus medic, and Deox is still alive, but he had to do the unthinkable. He had to do the just the impossible. Fight off against two Finnish scouts, and he couldn't do it.
Yeah. And I really like the decision to just contest this. Whenever you can just get it down to a lot of players being dead and you're ahead, it's really good for you, right? Because it's very difficult to cap and gain ground and do everything when you have very few players alive. So just as long as they keep on lemmings in here and just continually making a fight out of it, even if they lose the fight, as long as enough enemy players die, they just can't lose fast enough, basically. But they are actually winning at this point, and yeah, Babs will even take another kill to the logs, and yeah, 10 seconds they could actually even get last.
Yeah, really just add a cherry to the cake, but
not going to be enough.
Alright, 4-2 will be our final score, and that is the game for Nunya. They will walk away with the first 3 ETF2L points of their season, guaranteed from the bus crew here. But don't worry, Beta, we've got another map coming up, but before we head into that, we've got some logs for you really soon as we bring those up for you. Beta, is there anyone that you could really pin this win for Nunya? Who's the MVP for this Nunya squad?
I think Puskari was the MVP. We didn't talk too much about him, but he was just really, putting in work. He's got the most kills. He's got 28 kills in 11 deaths. So a really strong performance from him. And then also Lucas was doing really well. He's 22 kills and 10 deaths, lots of damage. And then I did point it out, and I was really interested to see it. And we do see Frederick, aka Poison, with the 11 shots. The closest behind is 3. So pretty good game by Poison for sure.
Yes, it's always nice to get that air shot count. I mean, who cares if you win or lose? It's all about those air shots. It's all about the MGE. It's what makes careers, what makes dreams happen. But I mean, then you're going to still be smiling from this. And God, it's those sort of losses as well for the bus crew where they hurt the most. The ones that you were so close to clawing back or winning or had a chance in. The grand losses don't hurt as much because you just kind of write yourself off at the beginning, but they really had some hope in here, the bus crew. I could tell just from their play and just some of these little, like, especially in the mid part of the game where they seem to find a whole new untapped potential in them, and it just panned it off.
Yeah, one of the questions I feel like we should address is we're wondering about Matu and Charlie, right?
Oh, yes.
And they have pretty confusing stats. We see the best damage is on Matu, who has 196, so that's not too impressive. And then he went 7 for 29. Ouch, right? And then much better kills. Kill death ratio is Charlie, but he has 174 damage, lowest damage in the server.
So, I guess one's the I don't know. Maybe one is like the mace, and the other one is like the scalpel. One's very precision, important, tiny little cuts for the for the important job, and one person's just trying to break the damn thing open.
Yeah, it is interesting that Matu seems to have just suicided in as much as he has. He is the target, as far as I can tell, according to the heals at least.
To be fair to the game of TF2, it is a stalematy game, and somebody's got to eat that death counter beater if they want to get things happening, get the ball rolling, and it's usually you need a selfless team player on your team, and I think Matu is their team player for that squad. So I'm going to salute you, sir, even if the logs won't.
Yeah, but I think it is interesting. I definitely think you can say from these logs there's still cause to be nervous if you're Nunya with the situations of your soldiers. Like we were thinking that was going to be their weak spot, and these logs seem to just kind of confirm that, and that could really become an issue on certain maps, right, against certain teams.
Right, Bisa, walk me through this. Some of these medic stats, the style, I suppose, of the Nunya. It seems like they're going for that style of a team where they have the pocket demo man and like kind of 2 Roma style. At least what the heals are telling us, and reflecting back, it was kind of like that during the game. Was that just because they were playing a stalematy game, or is Lucas just ideal pocket demo man?
It doesn't surprise me that they're just going to focus a lot of their heals on Lucas. He is what I'd call a DM donkey. So it makes sense to just put a bunch of heals up his butt and just say go to work. It's kind of like the same thing that they do with Eloquo and Ascent. It kind of seems to be in vogue at the moment because we have a bunch of really strong DM demo men looking around in Prem. But then also just focusing more on the scouts instead of the soldiers is something that, yeah, it's become more and more common, and this just feels like a little bit more extreme version than what we're used to seeing. Normally there's a soldier that gets quite a lot of heals, but just nope. Neither Matu or Charlie just got any heals basically. So it's double roll.
Do you think
basically
this is almost like a meta shift in a way? Maybe it's a bit extreme to say that now, but do you think this is the early signs of everybody going for that more demo man favored heals? With the obviously the rise of Eloquo and now Lucas is showing a bit of that as well, and obviously Cadus is a big player for that team, so obviously just by being the proxy of the brain, he's always going to be kept alive and wanting to stay and control these pushes or what he wants to kind of accomplish in the game. Anyway, I ask you such a long-winded question and I get cut off by the game, Peter, so we're gonna have to go and straight into our second map. That will be CP Process. It will be our second map of the Week 1 fixture, ETF2L Season 29, Nunya versus the Bus Crew. And the first thing I'm seeing on this mid-beta is a whole lot of nothing. Nobody's going aggressive right now. They want to play it cool, and actually you do see a jump coming in from, I think that was Tobbs. Yeah, Tobbs actually went off to the flank side here, so he has drawn a few eyes, and Nunya just don't know where to really focus their efforts on. Do we focus on Tobbs, who's gone behind? Do we deal with the combo at the front that's lacking a soldier right now? And by not picking anything, Beta, they've actually lost the mid.
Yeah, and they actually did the worst thing they could do, which was to ignore Tobbs, but then they also went onto the medkit that Tobbs was actually looking at, so they just got completely caught up in the crossfire as they tried to walk over there. So Tobbs actually winning the team this middle by just going behind lines, but it was a pretty undecisive middle as well, so we could be seeing a bunch of soldier suicides in. That seems to be the style of play that both of these teams prefer, just bomb in a soldier or two, and then maybe have the demo man walk in a little bit as well, and here it comes.
Well, he's trying. He's launched the demo man into the air, but he's not even going to go for the air shot at this point. He was really banking on that that Babs hit there, but the demo man will not do, so he will just die for the cause and sit back. And now they have to pick up the pieces here on Busker, and they're lacking 2 soldiers to really contribute to that piece picking up. So without those 2 players down, they will give up midpoint, and no Ubers have been exchanged during all that fighting. Both players, both teams are just showing a tremendous amount of respect for each other and don't want to really push the issue.
Yeah, it was very aggressive by the bus crew when they sent in their players. But I'm not... Oh my god, Matsu actually goes in, but he does force the Uber.
What? Why? Why? Okay, well, the Uber, it's been popped. C'est la vie. Goodbye to that Uber. They do have Connor still alive. Oh, Connor was alive. He's gone down. He's dropped the Uber. I mean, I was going to criticize Babs, but at least she got an Uber out there, Peter. Can't criticize that.
Yeah, well, you can. That was a weird Uber to pop. Like, they popped the Uber to save, like, either the demo man or the soldier. Like, it wasn't
definitely
Babs,
the demo man.
Yeah, alright. And, I don't know, I'd say that's pretty questionable.
Maybe it was all going to plan. They knew that Connor was going to be greedy, milk that Uber for all it's worth, and then just slip up when it came to time to execute. So they're going to get a second point off this, no doubt. I mean, they're not even going to bother contesting or even poking an eyeball through from Nunya. They're already setting up from last. They've got an engineer with a sentry gun built up. They got Puskari on that sniper as well, and they've got the medic in that bunker. Classic process last point.
Yeah, they could get in trouble though. Having the medic in the bunker is sometimes not even safe enough when you're going up against an Uber advantage right here. They are taking their time here, and now it's 80% on this Uber. I don't know, will they even go in? Now I'm guessing they're just not. Just because they had a sniper, I think they just decide to slow it down, not really do any kind of on-the-dot pushes. So that makes some sense for sure. But as a result, there's going to be like a big interim now where they're not really going to know what they can do because...
Oh my days.
Never mind.
These demo men are just dropping like flies, Beta. They're just absorbing all the headshots from both of these teams. So it seems more of a game of CP Orange right now. Snipers just sniping and having a good time while everyone else is just suffering. So it's all eyes on Albo, all eyes on Puskari, and Puskari will have his first eye onto Albo. He will be taken out of the game, and surely by this point...
in?
It forces out the Uber from Babs though, but they're quite close to the door, so maybe you could just call this a regular Uber, but they're too far away on Nunya to actually feel the brunt of that Uber, so they're going to hold on to theirs, and this should be a time to push out for Nunya, surely, Beta.
Yeah, that was a really interesting play there. Both soldiers went aggressive, one from lobby and one from rollout, and it actually worked out really well. They both died, obviously, but they got the medic to pop really convincingly. Had the medic not popped there, she would have just died really easily. So now it's going to be a full Uber disadvantage, and they're going to be pushing against the sniper, and here we go. Oh, Lucas!
Oh, gets the Babs kill, so with that opener, they have the heals on their side now. They can just definitely just hold back, be content that they got the medic so early and get the second point for sure. But they have got a bit more heal time and a bit more, I guess, life in them to actually segue this into the midpoint, and actually Puskari will pick off Toms, who overextends for that Charlie pick there over on the flank, and the Scouts Deox, he's thinking about just staying in the fight still. He really wants to hold on to this midpoint, but maybe an overextension there. Babs is cut off and Babs goes down again. This is amateur hour, it seems, Peter.
but Connor also got sniped by Alba.
Ah.
So that equalizes things a whole bunch. And I think neither team will really be comfortable actually pushing here. But as I say that, Lucas is just walking in.
Oh, double soldier bomb at the choke way. They will get the Lucas kill, and they even get the... They both just trade the combo for each other, so... The dust has settled, and nobody really can just play off each other's moves at this point. Nunya have got a little less players on their side, but they've got the forward respawn, so they're going to feel confident enough to hold on to this midpoint, even though they're lacking numbers. They have to be scared of the Alba sniper, however.
Indeed, he's already taken the medic down once, and it is going to just scare everyone off for the moment. They don't want to run in there carelessly. And we are left with a tiny uber advantage for Nunya. I think they're just waiting around the corner, just hoping that it's going to be an overextension. Here comes Alba, and he will find nothing on his first try, but he is in pretty aggressively. So a bunch of aggressive peeking right now. And he hits a shot.
Yeah, close. Thank God for overheal for Lucas, or he would have been a very dead demo man. So Alba... Because of this whole hit and run style though, he can't really get a good pick off onto anybody unless they've already been injured, so he really needs to kind of just do a very well timed and long pause shot, but with all these stickies he can't really do that, Beta. What's the answer here? What's your best shot on the map like process when it's the sniper?
I really like taking the sewers very aggressively, like having your medic in there and everything, and Demo Man's just sticking it off and then having a soldier in there as well. I really feel like that just buys so much space for your sniper, and it's very awkward for the medic because you can't really stand anywhere where you can heal everyone and be close enough to heal the people directly contesting the sniper. And when you're not close enough to heal the people that are directly contesting the sniper, they can get picked off without any possibility of being healed. And if you want to arrow them, you're going to have to peek out, then you can get headshot. So it's a very uncomfortable situation, but Alba is not playing that positioning at all, and just in general is not what the bus crew are doing. But they actually do manage to get Matu as he just jumps in for seemingly no reason and gets picked off.
Yeah, I think he's just sick of all this aggression coming out from Choke, wants to punish some of these gamers, but a quick switch in bait from the bus crew here, and they're still just waiting on the Alba pick. But I mean, surely by just by probability's sake, Beta, give enough time to this sniper, he's going to find a kill.
Yeah, he has about 8 minutes to hit a shot, so if I know Alba, he's going to be up for it. And yeah, it really just is a matter of time. But as I mentioned, I really like playing the sewers quite a bit, but you can really play any flank. You can play the choke, you can play the PC area, you can play the sewers. It doesn't really matter as long as you just commit with the team and make sure you protect your sniper well enough. But Alba is not being protected right now, and he's just going to be forced off. They're not really committing on the sniper enough, I think.
Alright, B, so how much time do you give Alba at this point until you start calling quits? When do you throw the white towel in and just realize this sniper play is not working out?
I'd say you start mixing it up. I give them 3 more minutes before they start mixing it up. I'm not saying like suicide things in, but then like once there's about 2 minutes remaining on the timer, then you probably should try to go for some really aggressive peek with the sniper and then probably have him die and then go scout. But, oh my god!
Wow. That was a bit scary for Babs there.
Yeah, but I think that was a double pipe by Jan, just completely demolishing Matu though. There. That will open up a lot of space right here. That's the dangerous part of it, but no.
I mean, maybe we're looking at the wrong sniper at this point, Beta. It seems Piscari's the one that's getting frags during this stalemating, so we'll get the pick off onto Frederick, poisoned, but doesn't really.
Oh, here comes Matu again.
Anything.
He's tired of being alive.
Oh no! Did you see that, Beta? Oh, Tobbs would have survived if Alba just managed to hit that sticky with his sniper rifle, but just misses it by a hair and he dies because of it. Just a little tiny story to be told in this massive game, Beta.
Oh, and Piscari wins the sniper duel as well. That's 2 players down.
That's a lot of room. Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of room bought for this sniper now. They actually Uber in to try and just take this fight because this has been the most action for both of these teams so far. And Nunya, they're going to be pinched potentially by this counter Uber. They will back off, and the sniper's doing a good job of actually denying this aggression from the bus crew as well. But it is processed. Once they get crawling all over that second point, it's hard to get back into it, Beta. So they're just going to have to give up the second point for now and just be content with being at last again.
Yeah. Puskari even getting picked off there. That's a really key pick when you want to be aggressive on second here. But things will die down a little bit. As Puskari, he's actually going to go for spy maybe, or is he just checking spawn? I think he's just checking. He's checking a little harder. But again, Matter's being very aggressive in rollout right here. He's very close to dying for it. But this time around, there's no one else around. Okay, Albert trade with Charlie. Alrighty then. And I just remembered actually that Fantasy TF2 is a thing that we haven't mentioned at all. So,
is this really the time for a plug of Fantasy TF2? I mean, can you check the score live, I suppose?
Well, no, it's not like you can update it. I just remembered because I noticed that Lucas and Puskari are doing really well.
Alright, are they on your fantasy team?
Well, Lucas is. And Puskari I made more expensive than I otherwise would have. Because every time I made a team, I was like, oh, I should just pick Puskari because he's cheap, and then I made him more expensive. And so far, it seems justified. That's my reason for caring.
And especially if he's going to keep playing the sniper role and just during these stalemates, he's the only one that's going to be getting these points at this rate.
He's actually on spy, just sneaking around, just spotting everything as poison will go down here as he tried to go in aggressively. Puskari is just sitting with the cloak and dagger in a corner.
Oh, that was a bit close for comfort there. Jon almost bumped into him. They both had the same idea of getting that. Oh, Babs hasn't heard him. Babs is spotting him though. She's healing him, and she's getting hit by this pistol, but nobody can seem to hit the spy. There we go. They will finally clean him up, but that was a little too long for my liking, Beta.
Yeah, they gave him like a full clip of time, more than that actually.
With Puskari with an ambassador at that point with that much time, you don't really want to, you know, test this these odds.
No, that was very fishy. But Albert is now in a very good position in lobby right now. He's just going far right, and there's even a soldier just completely bulldozing ahead of him, just making sure that nobody else can get onto him. So he's actually doing a really nice positioning game, and it's going to pay off.
You don't stand still on process, Charlie. When there's a sniper of Alpha's caliber, he will get the Puskari kill as well to follow up. He will go down, but surely this is the time to push. Right, Peter?
Yeah. Oh my god, Babs is so weak. Like one stray rocket just coming around the corner could kill her, but okay, she does get the med kit, so that's good. But the Demo Man will get dropped from this situation. She clearly doesn't want to pop the super right now. And I think that's actually a good decision. Definitely don't want to save your demo in that situation. But man, these stalemates, they're getting kind of intense.
Do you think they're asking too much over on the bus crew, Beta? Maybe they're demanding the perfect conditions for this last push. Do they need such perfect conditions, or...?
Judging from what we've seen earlier, the answer is no. But they've actually caught the medic right now. Oh my god, they actually got so much spam done. And look at that. Okay, if they don't go on this, then yes, absolutely they're going. Well, but I can't imagine they're not going to push on this. Well,
they've got a sentry gun to deal with this Uber, so it will soak up a bit of that time. And with Lucas going down, that's a very good last push so far. That's usually your last line of defense for this camp point, and you've actually got Poison, and Alvarez still on that sniper. Keep in mind, he wants to remind everybody, and they're just farming these people on the point. They've got no stickies to really defend it off the point rush, and the point rush will win. 1-0 will go to the bus crew, Beta.
Yeah, really solid play there. They just played around the sniper, and it wasn't fast or particularly effective, but just eventually they managed probability. And like, it wasn't even the sniper that really won it. It had to do, like, he influenced the positioning, but it was just the soldier spam that took down 2 players, and Connor just didn't want to push on it or pop on it.
Fast rollout by Tobbs, tries to pressure the Demo Man, but gets launched back because of it. He will still survive, get a crossbow, and he's back in the fight. And they need to control the top, however, but they keep being knocked off, and Nunya just weaseling their way around these crates, finding these 1v1 fights instead, and everyone's just splintering off. And as the mid draws out, these soldiers just become less and less effective for the bus crew. And however, Babs will keep herself alive, and maybe there's still...
You might not, though. There's so much pressure. There's a scout, there's a Demo Man, and a soldier all chasing her. And the Demo Man on last will even get picked as well. Babs is still alive though, so somehow she makes it out. Wow, she was just a big bait, and they took it.
Yeah, and now they're trying to just counter chase them instead, seeing if they can get these pickoffs onto the... Oh, the scout turnaround from Nuthouse! Disrespected, Tobbs! See you on YouTube. So, with that little turnaround, maybe they can make this reinitiation into the second point, but the rest of the party's there at this point. The bus crew has parked their bus onto that second point, and they've got an Uber charge, keep in mind, Beta. Bam stayed alive during all of that. So they could make this push into mid if they really want to.
Yeah, you can see Connor is very much aware of it. Like the way he's positioned, he's just getting ready to run out of sewers. And we just see the double soldier spam coming into choke. Poison has jumped in to try and make space, but nobody else is really ready to get in there. So it's just basically Poison alone. Now there's two soldiers, but where's everyone else?
Team? Where are you, team? There we go. They're coming out now. I guess they just, they're the canaries in the mine shaft, seeing if they will actually, they've got enough air to breathe for the rest of them. But they're so splintered. Everyone's just not working together, Beta. And because of that splintering, they will lose all these players before the Uber even gets exchanged during all this. And Babs is probably going to get cleaned up now because she hasn't noticed the soldier on top of her. And actually, no, she's still alive, but she's the last one to die. And that's actually probably the worst case for her. Because with that medic dying last, she's got that extended respawn.
Perfect hold there from Nunya. They didn't lose a single player, and they wiped the enemy team. So things are looking strong. There's a single sentry gun that's going to get spawned down immediately, and now the Doom push comes in here.
The Doom push, oh, very, very terrifying. Yon will get the pick onto Lucas, who kind of ransacked that point, but there's so many players to back him up. So 1-1 will be the score. Kind of thrown away, in my opinion, there, Beta, by the bus crew. It looked like a strong mid push, but it was just fractured.
Yeah, it was so slow. It was just only the soldiers in, literally only the soldiers, and then the rest of them just slowly filtered in. So they need to be a lot more decisive when they do these kind of Uber advantage pushes, and just push out the enemy team. But yeah, it's gonna make it 1-1. That's good for us. That makes it a good game. But here we go, another mid.
Tobbs jumping in, finding the power play position that he found from the first mid, where he was just staying near the enemy health pack and not really budging out. Now he will poke his head out, but he will go down because he poked his head out for that mere moment. And they just got stronger numbers on Nunya now, and they're using them to their best. To the best of their abilities. They will get that second point. They're actually thinking about making the second push right now before they actually get a chance to hold on to this second point. And because of this overextension, Lucas will get cleaned up as he makes the aggressive jump in. A nice little play from Deox to actually deny Lucas the air and his life.
Somehow Connor has ended up with quite a bit of an Uber advantage. He had like a 25% advantage. I don't think he got a saw or anything, but I guess he was just healing better. And here comes the Uber. Babs just barely managed to get it. That could have been a lot worse.
Well, they need to play on their side of the map now, Beta, if they want to hold out from this Uber quite nicely. And actually, they will back off from both of these teams. Very smart coming out, knowing that if they overextend, this is the point where both of these teams could get wiped. So they just both play it safe, very smart, very collected. Matu, he's found his way in this lower area. Nobody's noticed him. He's crawling all over Yon. Will nobody think about poor Yon? Yon goes down, and now they allow the rest of Nunya to come squeezing through the cracks, and they're crawling all over the bus crew. There's nobody really there to save him. It's only Alba that's managed to survive from the Ravage, but he might still go down to some of these overextenders from Nunya, and they want to get this last point dealt with. Alba, actually gets cleaned up by the Lucas pipe, and the Dome Man does come back, but Yon will not have enough space or time or even firepower to take out that Dome Man. It's 2-1 to Nunya, Beta.
Yeah, that was a really nice push in from Nunya. They had to really do something very fast, otherwise they were just at a big disadvantage because their medic died very late in that fight. So just with their medic down and not that many players alive, they just had to get in there very quickly. And Lucas hit one of really nice pipes, and that's going to make it 2-1 to Nunya.
Alright, let's see how these mids are going. They have been slowly turning the Nunya way, Beta, so I'm curious to see what the response is from the bus crew now. They've actually opted to all go right.
Oh my god!
Massive airshot coming out from Matu! Oh, that has melted the faces, not only the casters, not only of the Twitch chat, but of poor bus crew. Matu, you machine!
Oh my god. That was... And then he even got like a 3k on top of it. That was sick, dude. Yeah, I don't think I need to analyze this. That was just Matu.
I know, I think everyone was just like, oh. and nobody really concentrated for the rest of the fight. Not even the players themselves. So they're gonna tap themselves on the back, and happy that they got this midpoint, and they've got the controls, this reins of the game beater. They're in a nice cushy position where not only have they got the mid, they've got the round advantage, and they're just feeling good right now.
Yeah, they've got to be feeling it. There's still 10 minutes remaining though, so when you're up by 1 round, that's really nothing. So Alba's going to go for sniper again. This worked out really well for them last time. It took a while for it to work, and this time around they're on their own second, just holding it. But you know, if it worked last time, even if it did work very slowly, just why not do it again?
Don't try and complex things, I get you. Alright, but surely if you keep... Oh, he almost gets the shot onto Connor there, but Connor's a bit quicker on that right click than he is against Alba's mouse one. So they will actually exchange out their own Uber, and they're trying to kind of just make a quick turn from Nunya and just hope that DM kind of wins them the fight here, and it's getting a bit scrappy for my liking, Vito. It could go either way here, but Nunya just seems to tail out in the end, and Babs just did not want to stick around for that fight either. They actually back off Yon as well, valuing the assured last point than the maybe of second.
Yeah, just that was just basically a DM fight being won by Nunya. So just they're beginning to flex a little bit here, and now they put Puskari onto the sniper. So they go like, all right, okay, we see the Alba sniper. Let's try the Puskari sniper as well. And he's currently being uncontested. He's not contested by another sniper at this point, so he's going to have a really nice opportunity here to get into lobby, which is being secured now, and then get a nice first shot or two.
He sees the heal beam, so he has a rough idea where the medic could be, and oh, Puskari almost gets obliterated, but just thank blesses for that overheal coming out from his medic there. They will send in Matthew to maybe force out the Uber from Babs, but Babs ain't popping for nothing. She's just going to hold on to that, and they do lose Lucas actually during that little skirmish as well. I didn't really notice that. They've actually got Batu going in as well. He can actually get some cap time during that little bomb onto Babs, but again, they've thrown everybody in, and nobody seems to find the force beater.
Indeed, and as a result, they're just going to have to give it up here. And they could even just keep on moving here. The bus crew, you know, just put their foot on the pedal and just keep on going, because they have a lot of momentum going in here, including an Uber advantage. And here we go, the scout comes in. They're much more aggressive this time around than going in there. They're still missing a few soldiers. Here they go.
Yes.
They are in, and this is much
brilliant.
More
That's much better now. Just a lot more as a unit, working back to back of each other's space creating. It's they're learning the lessons here on bus crew, and I'm happy to see it. And they will pop in the Uber. They have got the Uber advantage, but keep in mind, Connor's just got his own Uber now, and he will be forced out, and he's going to go aggressive now. It's going the other way. I think it looks like they thought they had the Uber advantage a lot more stronger on the side of the bus crew there, Beta, because now they're just in a flurry of panic. They did not expect that Connor Uber to come out, and now they're all being shredded for it.
Yeah, very aggressively just moving in. I think it was very questionable to actually just move in through the choke like that, because I guess they thought they had a bigger Uber advantage than they actually had. But when it's even Ubers like it basically was there, then you don't want to go and take a fight like that, because you take a bunch of damage going in through that choke, and they even had a soldier jump behind, which they didn't even spot. So that just turned around very quickly. Oh my god, what an air
poison!
shot.
Oh, poison! That was close as well. He was actually down despite the nice little air shot there. And they've lost a lot of players actually over on the bus crew. This has me a little bit quaking in my boots if I'm over on the bus crew right now, Beta. They could maybe just force the last point here and now.
Yeah, they're definitely going to just Uber in here and try to take it immediately. Yeah, they're just going to stand on it. They lose a single player, but they just stack the point. No way a soldier could kill all of them, and that's going to make it 3-1. Just a really strong counter push coming out there. It seems like the bus crew has been pushing in very aggressively every once in a while, and then they just get completely demolished once the Ubers come into play. Since the Connor Ubers just seem stronger to me, and then of course I wonder, because when they played really slow with the Alpha Sniper, it worked out a lot better for them. So maybe that's the recipe for success instead.
You're saying playing slow. Tobbs goes barreling into that mid. First person to kind of lay some damage and the first person to die on that mid as well. He will kind of go down, and it's already an uphill battle for the bus crew at this point. They're going to have to find the frags quickly, but Nunya know that if they just start blobbing up, they're already at an advantage compared to the bus crew.
Poison's trying to get out, and it looks like he's just going to...
There's a poor lost space though. Nobody's paying attention to the choke meter. The buses arrived. Tickets, please, as they're trying to get the rest of Nunya onto the death counter. Charlie will be the next one to fall. Where is the medic during all of this? Connor's out. Connor's busy building the Uber with Piscari, and they just did not see the bus coming from the choke.
Yeah, beep, beep. I guess they didn't beep because that was just a pure distraction coming in there by Poison, just jumping around, and then everyone else just ran in through choke, and that was beautiful. And they're just going to keep on going.
Aggressive bomb actually coming out from Matu there to maybe get a poke, and actually they're really chasing this kill. The flank really wants to kill the opposing flank at this point, and they've left each other's combo to kind of out to dry and just fight each other. They will just sacrifice Lucas and just give them the second point, and I mean, maybe you could make the notion of pushing last point right now. They are down a demo beater, and yep, they have the same idea over on the bus crew, but they're all quite injured. Everyone needs heals right now. Toms is quite injured. It's kind of a difficult game for BAMS to kind of just keep their team alive at this point, and they've got a heavy weapons guy to deal with, and they haven't got an Uber to really guarantee his death. So with that long, slow grind of the heavy weapons guys guns and the aggression coming out from Nunya, it will go against the bus crew.
Babs desperately trying to get out there. Looks like she will meet up with the scout. So Babs getting out is a nice little consolation prize. She's actually, it's got a lot of Uber as well. Look at that, but yeah, it's just, they didn't quite make it in far enough. And then when there's a heavy shooting at you, there's just no way you can ever really get in there and kill him before the respawners come into play.
Babs has the Uber. They know that they have the advantage here, and they want to go now. This is the time for action, and they're going forwards. Double scouts. They clean up one scout, but they want more than that. They need more than that, Beta. If they want to make this turnaround, they go aggressive from this choke area. Deox has found his way in, and he couldn't really get the instantaneous kill on that soldier. If he could, that was maybe their avenue back into it, but his team backs him up from Nunya, buys enough time, and Nunya have got a Uber charge themselves now to actually, you know, keep contained on this last point.
Yeah, I think pushing out here is definitely a mistake. Yeah, you don't want to take that. You want to just take all the time you get from them not pushing due to you having an advantage and just put it in the bank, basically, right? Because BAMS is on 50%. They can't really probably push, but they might just have to because there's 2 minutes remaining. So the clock is very important. Here comes a soldier bomb in.
Oh,
and they will actually get the force. Nice.
Yeah, Connor, he bit scared there, didn't really see the soldier coming at all, and oh no, 2 of his players have gone down. That includes the demo man Beta. This is literally the miracle for bus crew to make the comeback here, but they do lose Albert. That scout Piscari overextends, but manages to back off as well. They're just bum rushing the point, and the bum rush works. Why do we overcomplicate things, Beta? We just need to just get on the point. Jesus.
Yeah. That was perfectly played. That was exactly what they needed to do in order to win this. Just force the Uber pretty early on, get their own Uber, and then just go in there and barrel onto the point, and it just worked out perfectly. And now they have 1.5 minutes to get the last round and force it into an overtime.
It's doable. It's definitely doable. Well, it's another mid, but they've been going atrociously for the bus crew so far. They really need to dig deep and think differently, and Tobbs has fought differently. He's actually decided to go aggressive on the enemy soldier instead, and oh no, he actually will be followed up by Matsu. They just seem to be so much more in sync over on Nunya, these soldiers. Charlie will go down, but he takes some players with him, and this is probably the nail in the coffin for the bus crew. Some of these players are even tapping out in the chat already, Beta.
Yeah, Jan is not even dead. He's just like, he should still be fighting. But yeah, they need to push in here, as dumb as it might look. And Babs has even gone down, so there's going to be no heals for them. Oh, unfortunately, oh my god, nice air shot there coming out from Matu. So Matu, he's hitting some shots. We're definitely seeing that he's capable of doing that at least. Here comes a sword in from behind. Can he get the medic air shot? No, he cannot.
Very nice, very nice. So it most certainly is going to the way of Nunya now. They might even get another bonus round like they did at the last game as well. So They're just having a good time, it seems, Peter, just looking at all these players and just having a good DM fest and, you know, fragging these nerds, getting as many logs, looking stylish whilst doing all of it, and they actually will get the bonus round 4-2 to Nunya. That will be our final score of the evening, and GGs have been called. Congratulations to Nunya, who they only walk away with 3 points from the first map, they walk away with another 3 points from our second map, CP Process. What a game, Peter, what a game.
Yeah, that was 2 really nice maps. It was actually very, very entertaining. And I will point out that in Fantasy TF2, you get points for each round that you win a game with. So you get extra points for getting an extra round like this.
Well done, Nunya, well done. Blessed be the fantasy points. Maybe that's why they've been trying so hard at just closing out some of these rounds. Usually these nerds like to just start off-classing as soon as the dead time kicks in.
Yeah, indeed. Just looking at, oh, the pyro didn't do much. That was the only thing I really cared about. But yeah, yeah, it's actually pretty even when you look at the stats overall. Like there's slightly more damage in the favor of Nunya, but just it's not an overwhelming performance by the team at all. It was a very close map and it was very entertaining as well.
So if the stats aren't making it obvious, Peter, what was it about the game then? What was the tiny little, I guess, game changer for Nunya to walk away with this map as well, in your opinion?
I definitely felt like the pushes were a little bit off for the boss crew. Like sometimes they would be too passive, like way too apprehensive to actually go in and commit fully, and other times they would be way too aggressive and just pushing off of what I assume they thought was an advantage, but they didn't actually have much of an advantage at all, and then it just all collapsed, and that happened a bunch of times. So I think that's really just the big difference in this particular map, at least on process. It really just seemed like Nunya were more composed and knew when to capitalize off of their small advantages and when to hold and when to retreat. Just overall that, but not like the scouts were crushing or anything like really crazy this time around.
I think if I was going to take a stab at it, Beta, I think I would point towards the headshot counter of Alba, and I bet if we could somehow show all those times those headshots happened, it was towards the beginning of the game where they were doing really well and they just kept things nice and slow, and then they couldn't slow down the game anymore, or at least they chose not to. And from there it kind of just went out of their hands. They lost and then when they were down rounds ahead against Nunya, now they didn't even dare go slow against Nunya, because that's just playing into their loss there, where Nunya is more than happy for things to be slow at that point.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. Just looking at some medic stats here, we see Babs with quite a lot of healing actually coming out. Had more healing than the enemy medic, and less drops as well. One less charge though, so overall pretty even. And just
look at all those advantages lost though from Babs.
Oh yeah, that's actually a point. That's quite a few.
Yeah. I mean, if that plays into that passive thing you were talking about earlier, they just weren't taking these fights properly, or even if they did get these Ubers, they would just lose players before they made these pushes because they were just so fragmented and all this stuff.
Yeah, there was some of those for sure. That's absolutely a factor. And then there were also a couple of them where the advantage was so small that they couldn't really push on it. So
yeah, true. The logs are a bit cruel, aren't they?
Yeah, like you can't tell the difference because like the logs don't care if there's 2 scouts down. Like they just show the same thing.
God damn it, Zoob.
Yeah, I guess the interesting thing was that both the soldiers got a lot more heals this time around.
It's the extended Gentleman John stats, Peter. You only get these on Team Fortress TV. So, what can you see from these stats here? Relative frags by zone, Peter.
You can see that the scouts from Nunya were really dominant on the middles, and I think that's definitely a factor on both maps today, that the Nunya scouts should really shut down any Roma play really hard. We saw Tops go behind quite a lot, and I think that's just because he felt like he couldn't jump into them. I
think it worked really well in the first round, and he must have thought that as well. It's like, wow, this worked brilliantly. I'm going to do this every round.
Yeah. Like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. He also did like mix it up. Sometimes he would get onto the demo.
I'll give him credit. He did definitely try and mix it up. But yeah, again, scouts pounded on mid. I think that is the medical term for it. But I guess should we mull over some? Should we talk to some gamers, Beta?
I feel like we should talk to them because I mean they're in here. So we are joined by Jan, Puskari, and Alba. So welcome everyone.
At least I
Welcome.
hope it's
Thank
those
you.
guys.
Thank you.
You guys are the real players, right? You're not some guys that are just going to mic spam.
No wannabes here.
Oh, thank God.
The real deal.
All right. First, guys, I want to just a quick question. A simple question. What went wrong, Jan?
I'll start us off. We were doing, they were all good comms, but they were all at the same time. So it was such a cluster where we could vaguely know what's going on, but it was just a complete shitfest. So that was pretty disruptive, and a lot of our last pushes were so out of sync, and I reckon that's what really came down to it. The shitty last pushes. So the poor last pushes, and obviously Piscaria and Nuthouse just having great games.
What about you, Albert? Does that sound about right, or have you got any other possible insights on what went wrong for your team?
I would definitely agree with John on the last pushes, but I would also we could be more coordinated and more aggressive than we are currently. I feel there's many times where we get a bit split up, so just some stuff to work on.
Albert, you at the dentist right now? It just sounds like a drill in the background or something like that.
He's actually on a train.
We had that for the whole hour. It was very pleasant to have. Yeah.
Part of that cluster comms you were talking about.
Hopefully it's better now.
I didn't notice it for most of the game because it was just pure carnage. But I notice it again now. So
yeah. Albert, you mentioned that you didn't think you guys were aggressive enough all the time, but I actually noticed a bunch of times where it seemed to me like you actually pushed really aggressively into a situation where you didn't seem to have much of an advantage at all, and you just kind of ended up losing the fight.
Yeah, it was like there were situations where I feel like we could be more aggressive, but also a lot of situations where we were aggressive, where we overcommitted as well, like where we could have slowed down and just hold ground instead. I don't know, just gotta work on it.
All right, well, I'm gonna bring it over to the side of Nunya. Piscari is our representative this evening. Welcome, Piscari. First off, congratulations. You must be feeling great.
Yeah, thank you.
Very good, very good. Now, I know I asked the sort of similar question to these guys earlier, but I know you guys are perfectionists at this point. Did you think you guys did anything wrong despite your win this evening?
I think the start of the sunshine was slightly messy, but overall we got done with that fine. But on the process, I think everyone choked slightly. I think there was maybe 3 pushes where Lucas died. We had Uber ad, and Lucas died before we pushed. I think that kind of stuff, and yeah, we were kind of on the edge on the process game. So it was very close on that one, yeah.
Now, you guys have got to help me out here. These are a lot of new gamers, new faces, new names. I am a scared, old, out-of-touch TF2 player, so you're going to have to catch me up. Who are the hot gamers right now for this season? Who are the people I should keep my eye on coming into this new season? This doesn't have to be people from this very game. It could just be people from other teams or whatnot. I'm going to start off with you, Jan. Have you got any insight for me?
You talking about the Prem debuts?
Yeah, the Prem debuts.
There's a lot of them this season. There's a lot of them.
Who's your favourite? Who's the one that's I need to watch out?
Myself. I was kind of hoping Scruff would play this season.
Okay.
Because everyone knows Scruff.
Oh yeah.
50 frags a pug. But I'd like to see how he would do in Prem standards. But unfortunately he won't be joining us. He's, I don't know, real life stuff going on. But Raph from Rakuzen. I'm a big fan of Raph. And maybe Callum.
Raph. Callum. Let me write these names now. Raph.
I have Callum in my fantasy team.
Alba, Piscari, help him out. There must be some other gamers that I need to keep my eyes on.
I think John mentioned most of them.
Yeah,
just those 3. Those are the ones that just need to keep shouting every game. I get you.
The Nunya soldiers as well. There has been
Yeah.
there have been a few doubts of these guys, but honestly, they in this game they proved themselves.
Yeah,
Both of them, Matu and Charlie.
There were some meaty air shots during some of these games. Whew. Me and Beta were going apeshit.
Yeah, I do wonder a little bit though. Like it seemed like at least on Sunshine they were getting very few heals. We noticed that both scouts got more heals than both of the soldiers. Like, is that on purpose or was it just because there was like kind of a lot of I don't know, stalemates where you bombed in a bunch of soldiers, or is this something that you're purposely doing?
Well, we're playing heals on the scouts pretty much, but on Sunshine, Matu was like sacking because we have these sacks. He was doing whenever someone sacked in, it was Matu. Like Matu has pretty good calls and stuff, and like overall understanding of the game. So despite being new to Prem, he is doing quite fine. But like on Sunshine, he mentioned he was a bit tired, so it was. He said that was a bit messy on his side, but other than that, yeah, I don't know.
I reckon that's how it should be. Both scouts getting more heals than the soldiers, because scouts, they're just the best class in the game.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Like, TurboTabs made a very long question that I never answered about whether or not that is a sign of things to come. Like, we see the meta more and more shifting towards just giving both of the scouts more heals than both of the soldiers. Is that a thing?
Pocket demo a bit as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, back when I played in Tanks Nursery with AMS, back then AMS already wanted to play pretty much like both scouts on like heal. Although it was a bit weird for me because he was like playing the Pocket Scout and Tank Scout at the same time. So I was just playing around. But like that was, I think that was season 25. I can't remember when I stepped in Prem, but like that season already. I guess that's when AMS at least started to pursue that, and we reckon our scouts have quite good DM on the team. So overall, want to like focus the heals on the demo because Lucas like pounced really mad, and then scouts are there to run Connor out and play heals, and Matu is creating space and Charlie as well.
All right, okay. So basically, Piscari has been doing it before it was cool beta.
That makes sense.
He knew. He figured out the game. AMS, long nights, crafting, reshaping the meta. All right, guys. I've got one more question. It's my favorite question when it comes to week one, and I want to ask you guys about your team goals. What do you want to achieve this season, basically? And I get a lot of varied answers. Some people are like, oh, we're just here, we're going to work on our friendship, we're going to make sure we just survive this season, all this stuff. Some people want to win or get second place immediately out of the gate, and if they don't, they're going to fold, all this stuff. But what are your goals, guys? I'm gonna ask you, Albie. You've been awfully quiet.
I mean, goal is always number one, and then after that, you gotta see where you end up. Yeah.
How about you, Piscari? What are the goals of the Nunya squad this season?
Everyone is quite keen on the play video demo reviews and stuff, so I think we are aiming to get like top 4 or something.
Okay, make playoffs basically.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What about you, Jon?
I was going to throw in there, and Nunya have a very, very strong chance of finishing top 4 because they seem to be a very, very strong team this season. Stronger than their previous Nunya teams rosters.
This guy, Jon, he's such a gentleman. Jon, that is not good enough. I need some drama for the TF2.
I don't know.
Nunya
got lucky. I don't know.
Who's your greatest enemy, Jon? Who's what's the person, the grudge match of the season?
I reckon it would be the Swamp.
The Swamp.
Yeah, the Swamp.
Is it Hampton Swamp?
Probably because they were our qualifier.
Yeah, because you pounded them in the qualifier.
Where it went down right down to the last second on product.
Yeah, but you won, so you pounded them. That's how it works in TF2.
Yeah. And scrims are always really close. Okay. I'll say Swamp. Yeah.
Cool. I'll put that in big pearly lights later in the season. All right, I'm all out of questions, Beta. How about you?
Yeah, I just want to hear, like, you mentioned that Nunya were very likely to get into playoffs. Like, who else do you think are in contentions for the playoffs?
4th to 8th, I reckon it could go any order. I don't know about a few teams.
Who's third place then? Me and
Maybe.
Beta were kind of having a
Third.
hard time.
I reckon third would be Nunya.
So
And then-
Nunya's going to be fourth and third. Brilliant team.
Fourth could be, I don't know, us, Swamp, Shaq, any of them.
I mean, yeah.
Top 3, 7 Ascent, Nunya, I reckon. If they keep on with their strong performances.
All right. Well, that was a good piece of insight. So I think we should just move on to roll out to shout outs, not roll outs, and then roll ourselves out of here. But yeah, let's do some shout outs.
Albie, you're the first one to roll out.
All right. Shout outs to my dad who might be watching. Shout outs to Denia, the guy who got lost in Overwatch. Shout outs to the ALML Discord, ARPG God and Smirra. And finally, shout outs to you, Beater, and TurboTabs, as well as Gem on the cam.
Nice. Bascari, any special people out there you want to shout out to?
Shout out to the good old Kela squad, the Finnish team I started off with, and shout out to the opposing team of ours tonight. And I don't know. I guess that's it. Maybe youtube.com/aliboy.
Nice. Jon, first shout outs of the season.
Shout out. I'll start off. Shout out to Catbo Carl. I feel like everyone should recognize him as an official high scout, even though people saying he's not. They're dead wrong. So Catbo Carl. And Tobbs just wanted to say, we get fourth. Everyone else sucks. He said that in chat, in my Steam chat.
Cool.
Shout out to Tobbs. Shout out to Nunya. Shout out to Bustro. And the ETF2L TFTV production crew, you guys and Gem.
Nice. And that's what I call a correct shout out. All right, Beta. These have got to be our last shout outs. Come on now. What have you got?
Well, I just want to say that I have uploaded the Fantasy TF2 results, and big shout out to Madu for going -5 on Sunshine. So whoever picked him on their fantasy team, he did get some points on the second map, but all those sacks on Sunshine did definitely do a number on him.
Shame air shots don't count on fantasy point. Well, not a caliber of air shot, I suppose.
Yeah, air shots do actually count. You do get some points.
Caliber of air shot.
Yeah, I suppose. Like you get a lot of points for hitting people on the pipes on Granary for some reason. So that's a good way to farm fantasy points. Anyway, once Granary week comes up, you guys know how to game the system. But yeah, people will get some trades at maybe tomorrow. I'm not quite sure. Pretty soon for next week, you'll probably get 4 transfers. So if you want to get rid of some people, you can do that. If you have Scruff on your team, definitely trade him away, because at some point, first of all, he's not playing, but then second of all, I will also delete him from the system. And if you haven't sold him before I delete him from the system, you can't trade him for another player, so you're left with 5 players. So get rid of Scruff. But yeah, I'll give it a week or 2 or something before I finally delete him. But other than that, yeah.
Can I throw in something quickly?
All right,
I'm on fantasy, and I'm seeing I've got 0 points from both games. What the fuck is going on there?
God
yeah,
damn
I'm not
it,
sure.
Beta.
Like when you look at the players, the points don't seem to be in the system yet.
God
But I
damn
don't know,
Beta.
it usually takes a little while.
We all know that those are supposed to be negative points in there.
Come on now. Come on now.
Yeah, like Poison and Jan having 0 points, that doesn't seem right.
I mean, that top damage on Sunshine, that's got to mean something.
Yeah, like if you look at if you click your name and then you go into and look at the games you played, you can see how many points you got. And I'm pretty sure, like if you have people that have you on the team, they have gotten the point that they should. But I'm not sure why it's not showing up right. That's a question for Gentleman John. But we'll look at it.
All right. Oh boy, is it my turn now? I'm going to give a big shout out to teamfortress.tv. They've got such cool things as a YouTube, website, Twitter, Facebook. We don't have an Instagram, do we? No.
Should get one.
We've got a gallery, but it's on our website. We're from like 2010. We don't have Instagram. Okay. All right, that's everything. I'm pretty sure that's all about plugs. I've been TurboTabs. With me has been Beta, Gem on the production. God damn it. Alba, Pascari, Jon have joined me in for the interview. Big shout out to them. Nunya walk away with it against the bus crew. Good job, guys. Week 1 games. Tune in for more. Happy days. See ya.
Smooth.
Bye.